The internet is on fire right now after Joseline Hernandez dropped a bombshell no one saw coming. The Puerto Rican princess, known for her unfiltered attitude and fearless energy, has finally broken her silence, and what she revealed about her fiancé Ballistic Beats has left fans absolutely stunned. For years, their relationship looked passionate, chaotic, and intoxicating, but now Joseline is exposing the dark, terrifying truth that was hidden behind the cameras, the glitz, and the fame. According to explosive leaked audio clips circulating online, Joseline can be heard breaking down, sobbing uncontrollably as she admits, "He put his hands on me. I can't take it anymore." And that single sentence has sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Insiders are calling this one of the most disturbing celebrity revelations in recent memory, a chilling glimpse into what really happens when love turns violent. Ballistic Beats, who once stood by Joseline's side as her protector, now stands accused of being the very source of her pain. Fans are flooding her comment sections, demanding answers, demanding justice, and begging her to walk away before it's too late. Sources close to Joseline claim this wasn't a one-time incident, that this has been going on behind closed doors for months. And now, for the first time, she's done protecting him. But here's the shocking twist. Joseline might not be as safe as everyone thinks. Because after this confession went viral, Ballistic's reaction wasn't what anyone expected. It all started with a whisper, a quiet, trembling voice note that somehow slipped through the cracks and made its way into the public. First, nobody believed it was real. It was too raw, too emotional, too vulnerable to be the Joseline Hernandez the world knew. The voice in the audio was weak, shattered, and scared. "I can't keep pretending," she said through tears. "He hit me again. I thought he loved me, but I'm starting to think I don't even know who he is anymore." Within hours, the clip exploded online, spreading across Twitter, TikTok, and celebrity gossip pages like wildfire. Fans who had always admired Joseline's fierce independence were in disbelief. How could the Puerto Rican princess, the woman who built an empire off confidence, defiance, and power, be a victim of abuse? Screenshots began surfacing from Joseline's private Instagram messages, allegedly sent to a close friend just days before the leak. In one of them she wrote, "If anything happens to me, just know I tried to leave. But he wouldn't let me." That single line sent chills down everyone's spine. Suddenly, what seemed like an ordinary lover's argument turned into a full-blown crisis. Insiders close to Joseline claimed she'd been trying to break things off with Ballistic Beats for weeks, but every time she pulled away, he found a way to pull her back in, sometimes with apologies, other times with threats. According to one source who spoke under anonymity, Joseline has been covering up bruises for months. She told people she fell or that it was makeup for a photo shoot, but everyone around her knew something wasn't right. Ballistic has a temper. He wants control over everything, over her career, her image, even who she talks to. The tension between them reportedly boiled over during the filming of a private event in Atlanta. Several crew members from Joseline's cabaret claimed the couple had an explosive argument in front of everyone. One witness described it as terrifying, saying Ballistic's voice could be heard echoing through the hall, shouting words no one dared repeat. Joseline allegedly ran off set in tears, locking herself in her dressing room for nearly an hour before storming out of the building without finishing the shoot. When questioned later, Joseline tried to laugh it off, saying, "We just had a little fight, you know how relationships get." But insiders say she wasn't laughing when the cameras stopped rolling. She reportedly called a friend later that night, sobbing and saying, "He threw a bottle. Barely missed me. I thought he was going to snap." And then came the photos. Blurry, grainy images allegedly showing Joseline with swelling around her jaw and a faint bruise near her shoulder. At first, fans debated whether they were real. Some said it was makeup from a performance. Others argued it was proof of something darker. Then a fan account uploaded a new image showing Joseline at a Miami nightclub just 48 hours before the leak, wearing oversized sunglasses indoors and a scarf around her neck. That's when the narrative shifted completely. The comments turned into outrage. People began tagging domestic violence organizations, posting hashtags like #ProtectJoseline and #Justice for the Princess. Ballistic Beats remained silent for days. Not a word, not a post, not a denial. His Instagram comments were flooded with thousands of angry fans demanding answers. When he finally broke his silence, it was through a cryptic story post that read, "Don't believe everything you hear. People love playing victim when they're guilty too." That line lit the internet on fire. Screenshots flew everywhere. Fans accused him of gaslighting. Celebrities like Erica Mena, Masika Kalisha, and even Cardi B chimed in, some with sympathy, others with side-eye suspicion. Masika tweeted, "When women say they're hurt, believe them. Don't wait until it's too late." The post quickly went viral, with fans speculating that she knew more than she was letting on. Within hours, Love and hip-hop's entire community was divided. Some rallied behind Joseline, while others defended Ballistic, arguing that there was more to the story. But the real bombshell came when leaked text messages allegedly from Ballistic's phone surfaced online. In one, he appeared to write, "You think you can embarrass me like that and walk away? Made you. You're nothing without me." Another message read, "Keep talking to the blogs and I'll show the world the real you." If those messages were real, and multiple fan pages confirmed their metadata matched Ballistic's account, they painted a horrifying picture of control, manipulation, and fear. Meanwhile, Joseline's camp began tightening up. Her publicist released a brief statement saying, "Joseline is focusing on her safety and mental well-being. We ask that everyone respect her privacy at this time." But privacy was the last thing she was getting. TMZ caught her outside her Miami condo looking visibly shaken. When asked if she planned to press charges, she simply said, "I just want to be free," before breaking down in tears and being escorted away by a friend. The next day, a 30-second clip surfaced from Joseline's private live session, recorded before she ended it abruptly. In the clip she said, "You think you know someone until you see their true colors. I protected him for too long and now I'm done." Those words echoed through every entertainment outlet, sparking debates, interviews, and even a few talk show segments. Wendy Williams' replacement on her new podcast called it one of the saddest celebrity stories of 2025, while The Shade Room posted, "This is no longer gossip, it's survival." But even as Joseline tried to move on quietly, whispers began emerging that Ballistic wasn't letting go. A close friend allegedly told Radar Online that he'd been showing up near her filming locations, sending gifts, and even calling her team pretending to be a producer. Fans grew increasingly worried when Joseline skipped 2 major appearances without explanation. Some feared she had gone into hiding. Others believed she was preparing to release her own statement or documentary. Then came the audio clip, a full minute of Joseline sobbing saying, "He won't stop calling me. He won't stop showing up. I don't know what to do anymore." That recording leaked late one night through a gossip page claiming it came from a concerned insider. Whether it was real or staged didn't even matter. The public had already made up their mind. By the end of the week, Joseline's name was trending across every major platform. Hashtags calling for justice were everywhere, and celebrities were drawing lines in the sand. Some unfollowed Ballistic. Others quietly deleted posts with him. But one thing was clear. Something had shattered inside Joseline Hernandez, and this time she wasn't going to sweep it under the rug. The world could feel it. Something darker was coming next. Because if the whispers about what Ballistic did last weekend were true, things were about to get much, much worse. As the night settled in, Joseline Hernandez found herself sitting alone in her Miami apartment, a place that once felt like her sanctuary but now echoed with memories she wished she could erase. The lights were dim, her reflection barely visible in the large mirror across the room. Every mark, every bruise on her skin told a story she could no longer hide. What began as love and passion had slowly turned into control, fear, and manipulation. And this time, Joseline was ready to speak her truth. The world knew her as the Puerto Rican princess. Fierce, bold, and unapologetically confident. But behind that fearless exterior was a woman who had endured a storm of pain, and her fiancé Ballistic Beats was at the center of it all. Their relationship had once been the envy of many fans. Together, they looked unstoppable, often showcasing their chemistry on reality TV and social media. But Joseline revealed that the camera never captured what really happened when the lights went off. During a recent interview, Joseline's tone shifted from her usual fiery personality to something more raw and vulnerable. Her eyes filled with tears as she confessed, "It wasn't just arguments, he put his hands on me. I tried to cover it up, but I can't keep pretending everything's okay." The room fell silent. Viewers who had followed their journey from Joseline's cabaret to public appearances were left stunned. According to Joseline, the abuse didn't start overnight. It began with small things: constant criticism, isolation, and emotional manipulation. "He made me feel like I needed him to survive," she said quietly. "At first I thought it was love, but love doesn't hurt like that. Love doesn't make you feel trapped." Joseline described nights when heated arguments escalated into shouting matches, and how Ballistic's temper would explode without warning. "I used to think it was my fault," she admitted. "He'd say I provoked him, that I talked back too much. But after a while, I realized he just wanted control. Over me, my career, my voice, everything." Those close to Joseline reportedly noticed a shift in her behavior long before she went public. One of her close friends claimed, "Joseline started missing meetings, canceling shows, and isolating herself. She wasn't the same vibrant, loud woman we knew. She became quiet, and for Joseline that was scary." The tension between the couple reached a breaking point after an alleged altercation in their home, one that neighbors claimed was so loud they almost called the police. Joseline later admitted she left the house that night with nothing but her phone and purse. "I looked at myself in the mirror and didn't recognize who I was anymore," she said. "That's when I knew. I had to leave before it was too late." But walking away from Ballistic wasn't simple. He wasn't just her fiancé. He was also her business partner and music producer. They shared financial ties, creative projects, and a fan base that often romanticized their relationship. Breaking free meant risking everything: her career, her image, and even her safety. In the weeks following her decision, Joseline reportedly stayed with a close friend in Atlanta while keeping a low profile. She avoided posting on social media, leaving fans speculating about her disappearance. But when she returned online, she came back stronger than ever. Her first post was simple but powerful: a photo of her looking into the camera with the caption, "You can't break a woman who knows her worth." That single message sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Support poured in from fans, celebrities, and even women who had faced similar experiences. Cardi B, who had her own history of toxic relationships, left a comment saying, "Proud of you for speaking up, sis. Never let anyone dim your light." Meanwhile, Ballistic Beats tried to defend himself online, claiming Joseline was exaggerating the situation for publicity. He posted a statement saying, "I never laid a hand on her. We had disagreements like any couple, but I would never hurt her." Yet fans weren't buying it. Many pointed out that his response lacked empathy and accountability. To make matters worse, leaked footage from a behind-the-scenes recording of Joseline's cabaret resurfaced, showing Ballistic yelling aggressively at one of Joseline's cast members during a reunion special. His temper on camera only fueled public outrage. One viewer commented, "If that's how he acts in front of cameras, imagine what happens when they're off." As the story gained traction, Joseline began working with advocates for domestic violence awareness. She didn't want her experience to be just another headline. She wanted it to help others trapped in similar cycles. In an emotional Instagram live, she told her fans, "Ladies, don't wait until it's too late. I waited because I thought I could change him. You can't change a man who doesn't see a problem with his behavior." Her words resonated deeply, especially with women in the entertainment industry who often face pressure to maintain perfect public images. "People see us on TV and think we're untouchable," Joseline said. "But behind the makeup and lights, we're human. We bleed. We cry. And sometimes we suffer in silence." Insiders claimed Joseline's decision to come forward might impact Ballistic's career. Brands began reconsidering collaborations, and several venues reportedly paused events involving his music. The industry doesn't want to associate with that kind of controversy right now, a source revealed. Joseline's story has power, and people are listening. Joseline, however, wasn't focused on revenge. She made it clear that her priority was healing, not humiliation. She began therapy, leaned on family, and started journaling her emotions as part of her recovery. "It's not about hating him," she said softly. "It's about loving myself enough to never go back." Still, the emotional scars ran deep. At one point, Joseline revealed she suffered panic attacks whenever she heard loud voices. "It takes time," she said. "Some days I wake up strong, some days I break down. But every day I choose me." The public continued to speculate about whether Ballistic might face legal consequences. While Joseline hasn't filed charges yet, her fans have urged her to take action. "He needs to be held accountable," one supporter wrote. "We can't keep normalizing abuse just because it happens behind closed doors." For now, Joseline remains focused on rebuilding her empire on her own terms. She's reportedly working on a new reality project centered around women empowerment, a major shift from the usual cabaret drama. "This time it's about strength, not survival," she told producers. "I'm done living in fear." And as she continues her journey toward peace, Joseline's story serves as a reminder that even the strongest women can fall, but they can also rise again, louder and stronger than ever before. Part 3 will reveal what really pushed Joseline to speak out publicly, and how her confession has shaken the entire love and hip-hop community, forcing others to confront their own hidden truths. The days following Joseline Hernandez's bombshell confession felt like a storm sweeping through the entertainment industry. Social media was flooded with hashtags like #StandWithJoseline and #ProtectBlackWomen, as thousands of fans rallied behind her. But with every wave of support came a backlash. Those who doubted her story, those who called it clout chasing, and most painfully, those who tried to defend Ballistic beats. Joseline, however, was done being silent. For the first time, she didn't care about public image or industry politics. She only cared about her truth. Sitting in front of a ring light, with minimal makeup and her natural hair showing, she opened up to her millions of followers on Instagram Live once more. "Y'all think you know me," she said, her voice trembling but firm. "But you only know what I allowed you to see. You saw the lights, the show, the glamour. But behind all that, I was breaking." As she spoke, over 100,000 viewers tuned in live. It wasn't the Joseline they were used to. Loud, confrontational, and defiant. This was a different woman. A wounded one. A survivor finding her strength again. "I tried to protect him for years," she continued. "Every time I had a bruise, every time I cried myself to sleep, I told myself, maybe tomorrow will be different." But tomorrow never changed. Got worse. The more successful I became, the more he tried to control me. She paused for a long moment, the comment section scrolling faster than anyone could read. "You can't love someone who hates your light," Joseline said finally. "He didn't want me shining unless he was standing next to me." Joseline went on to share more chilling details of the physical and emotional abuse she endured. She described nights when Ballistic allegedly threw things across the room, screamed obscenities, and threatened to ruin her career if she ever left him. He'd say, "Without me you're nothing. Nobody wants Joseline unless I'm producing her." "I believed that for too long," she said, shaking her head. The breaking point, she revealed, came one night after an explosive argument over her performing without him. "He didn't like the fact that I booked a solo performance," she said quietly. "He accused me of trying to embarrass him. When I said I just wanted to perform my music, he snapped. That was the night he grabbed me so hard I thought I'd pass out. I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before, rage mixed with pride. That's when I realized he didn't love me. He loved owning me." Fans were horrified, but what made Joseline's confession even more powerful was her honesty about how long it took her to recognize the signs of abuse. "When you're in it, you don't see it," she explained. "You make excuses. You blame yourself. You tell yourself, he's just stressed. Or it's not that bad. But it's always that bad. The moment a man makes you afraid to be yourself, that's abuse. The emotional weight of her words was undeniable. Even celebrities who had previously stayed quiet began to speak out. Tamar Braxton tweeted, "Joseline, I believe you. Nobody deserves to be broken down like that. Praying for your strength." Kaya Michelle, who had clashed with Joseline in the past, even reposted her video with the caption, "We may have had our issues, but I stand with any woman brave enough to tell her story." Meanwhile, Ballistic Beats tried to salvage his image. He released a video of his own, a polished, rehearsed statement where he denied all allegations. "I've never physically harmed Joseline," he said calmly. "We had arguments like every couple, but I would never lay hands on her. I love that woman." But fans weren't convinced. The tone of his response, defensive and detached, only made things worse. The comment section was filled with angry fans demanding accountability. "If you loved her, why did she feel unsafe?" one person wrote. Another commented, "That man's eyes tell a different story. You can't hide energy." Joseline, on the other hand, refused to engage directly with him online. "I don't need to fight lies with more lies," she said during an interview with the Shade Room. "The truth doesn't need PR." Her courage inspired other women in the industry to come forward with their own experiences of abuse and control. A producer who once worked with Ballistic anonymously told the media, "He's always been controlling. You could tell he had a temper. The way he'd talk to Joseline off camera was completely different from the way he'd act on camera." As the story continued to unfold, Joseline announced she was working with a non-profit organization dedicated to supporting domestic abuse survivors. "I don't want this to just be about me," she said during a press conference. "I want it to be about every woman who's ever been told to keep quiet, every woman who's ever been afraid to speak." The announcement marked a major turning point in Joseline's journey, from victim to advocate. She began attending therapy sessions and even opened up about how hard it was to rebuild trust after trauma. "I used to wake up in the middle of the night, shaking, thinking he was standing over me," she said. "Healing isn't pretty. It's messy. But it's real." One of the most emotional moments came when Joseline returned to her music. In the studio, she recorded a raw and emotional single titled Unbroken. The lyrics described her pain, her fear, and ultimately, her freedom. "I walked through fire, but I came out gold," she sang in one verse. "You can't cage a woman who remembers her soul." The track quickly went viral, with fans calling it her most authentic work yet. But even as Joseline tried to move forward, the legal side of her story began taking shape. Sources close to her revealed that her team was gathering evidence, texts, photos, and witness statements, in case she decided to press charges. "Right now, she's focused on healing," the insider said, "but she's not ruling out legal action. She wants justice, not revenge." Ballistic, on the other hand, started losing business deals. Several networks reportedly cut ties with him, and collaborations that had been in progress were quietly cancelled. "The industry is distancing itself," an insider explained. "Nobody wants to be connected to this kind of scandal." Joseline's bravery became a cultural moment, a statement that even women with power and fame aren't immune to abuse, but they can rise above it. "I want young girls watching me to know, you can love yourself enough to walk away," she told Essence magazine. "It doesn't matter how much you've invested. Your peace is priceless." Her fans echoed that sentiment across social media. One wrote, "Joseline just showed that healing is power. She's not broken, she's reborn." Another said, "She turned her pain into purpose. That's what survival looks like." By the time Joseline ended her public statement, her tears had turned into determination. "This isn't the end of my story," she said with conviction. "This is just the beginning of the real me, the woman who doesn't need anyone's approval to shine." And just like that, the woman once labeled as too loud, too wild, or too much reminded the world that beneath all the chaos and controversy was a survivor, one who found her strength not in perfection, but in truth. Before you scroll away, take a deep breath, because what you just heard isn't just another celebrity headline. This is real pain, real power, and a story that's shaking Hollywood to its core. Joseline Hernandez just turned her scars into a statement the world can't ignore. And if you've been watching this unfold, you already know. This isn't the end. It's just the beginning of something massive. Now here's where you come in. Don't just watch this story, be part of it. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Do you believe Joseline's side of the story? Or do you think there's still more to uncover? The truth is unfolding in real time, and every new leak, every new post, is taking this drama to a level we've never seen before. Hit that like button if you stand with Joseline, and smash subscribe because the next update might just change everything we thought we knew about her relationship, her future, and who's really been pulling the strings behind the scenes. We've got unseen footage, private DMs, and insider whispers that could drop any moment. And trust me, you don't want to be the last to know when it all hits the internet. Turn on those notifications right now because when the next piece of this scandal breaks, it won't just trend, it'll explode. This is your front row seat to the truth Hollywood tried to bury. Stay locked in because the next revelation might just leave the world speechless.